Hey guys, and welcome back to Will Squared. I'm Will Senior.
And I'm Will Jr.
Man, I was gonna say Junior.
Yeah.
My goodness. Um, and and we're here to talk about sports and just about anything else that might pop in our heads. Today, well, yesterday we did college football,
Yes.
and it's interesting what's going to happen there, but we'll talk about that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we just want to concentrate on NFL, right?
NFL.
The Miami Dolphins did it again. They win again. And so did the Ravens.
Yes.
So let's start off with the Ravens, and then we'll come back into and talk about Miami.
Well, the Ravens played the Chargers this past Monday night. It was a key game for many reasons. Playoff seeding, brother against a brother. Chargers and Ravens
The
are just
Harbaugh
Yeah.
Bowl.
and Chargers Ravens are just like two good teams. So I expect just a good football game, and it was. This past week, I said many times that we need to run the freaking ball. And what happened in this game? Derrick Henry had 24 carries for a buck 40. Run the ball, man. I mean, it probably won't be as effective in the first quarter, but if you keep on giving the ball, the fourth quarter is going to kill those defenders because who wants to tackle him? Just keep running the ball. But the defense is getting better each week. And by each week, I mean 2 weeks. But still, they've been facing the Steeler offense, which before the game, they were being really hyped up. This Charger team is a very clean offense. I think they have 2 turnovers all year,
Yeah.
which is insane. A good running game, all that. But the defense played very well. Way better than the previous weeks.
That's good.
And yeah, it was a huge win. They're now 8-4, still a game behind the Steelers, current 5th seed, which I think they will be if they don't win the division. So yeah, they're in a good spot right now.
All right, awesome.
You with the Dolphins?
Woo, man. Again, let me just kind of dress it up saying that we are winning the games we're supposed to win.
Yes.
Okay. We beat New England Patriots, which they're starting a rookie quarterback. In his last name is May.
Like Drake May.
And actually, he didn't do that bad. I was watching the game.
No.
He's pretty decent. I think they have something really good in that kid.
He has not had a bad game all year.
No, and I think he's only going to get better, which I was surprised when I watched. I actually got a little a little scared there in the fourth quarter when they started coming back. So we were up.
Was it not like a 20-point game?
Yeah, well, we were up.
Yeah.
We were up pretty nice, and then our coach decided to put Skylar Thompson in. And on the second hike, a second snap,
There's a fumble.
there was a fumble returned for a touchdown.
Oh, that's how they got that.
And
Okay.
so guess who came back on the field? Tua. So Tua's line was
That's
incredible. So when he left before Skylar had that little mishap, which I don't know whether to blame Skylar or the rookie
center
or the no, it was the rookie running back. I don't know whose fault it was.
Who's
I
to
will
blame?
say that Skylar did put it up a little higher than normal, and so I don't think the rookie was ready for that. And so anyway, he fumbled and the exchange fumble, and then it was picked up and ran back for a touchdown. But Tua's line is really nice. He had 4 TDs. It was the 4th time in his career that he has 4 more TDs without an interception.
Nice.
In the last 2 games, his quarterback rating is perfect, pretty much. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Now, let's leave that Patriots game behind because again, you win the games you're supposed to win, right? And Miami at the beginning of the year we were expecting playoffs. We are a good team, right? We did have obviously Tua's concussion, 4 games out. We only won 1 of those 4 games. Tua comes back, we lose 2 more. A lot of it, and I think you and I talked about it, was all in the fourth quarter defense. And so anyway, this week
There's hope. There's a little bit
in
of hope.
Thanksgiving, we are playing Green Bay at Green Bay.
You have 0 shot.
So this is, and thanks for that, but this is where I need to see Tua
Yes.
come out because he's historically bad when the temperatures are below 30 degrees.
It's going to be 25.
Okay. It's going to be 25, chance of flurries, and a wind. Okay.
And a wind.
So Miami, although this year hasn't shown it yet, they are a high-powered offense.
Yes.
This year, for some reason, well, I wouldn't say for some reason. This year, the defensive units that they've been playing against have actually done
You said this last week. That
yeah.
They're playing
So
more
they're
off. Yeah.
so they're always playing with two safeties out back,
safeties high.
which means that we just can't get that big chunk of
Playing.
of play, right?
Passing,
So
yeah.
we had to kind of dink and dunk all the way through. Yeah, because like 2 weeks ago, we had 4 driving plays of over 17 plays each drive.
Oh, yeah. They did.
So, I mean, it was all about dink and dunk, and they were all over 7 minutes long, which means that the other offense is not on the
It's off
field,
the field.
and our defense is nice and taking
off
a
the
break, right? So they don't have to overexert, which is what's happening in Jetland, which we won't even talk about that right now. But anyway, this week I'm going to really know whether I should feel comfortable or confident that Miami makes it to the playoffs. And even if they don't, this weekend will still tell me a lot about the team and a lot about Tua. Tua has come back from concussion and has played extraordinary. But now comes Green
The
Bay.
important games.
Green Bay, and the only other really good game that's coming up in Miami's schedule is really Texans. Because the 49ers,
they're
unfortunately, they're not playing well. Although now we don't know what's going to happen from here to 4 games when we do meet the 49ers.
Yes.
It could be that they have everybody back and that they're making their own push to the playoffs. We don't know that. But as of right now, the only 2 big games in our schedule are the Texans and the Packs. And the Pack.
One more, actually, that you don't really think could be a big game, but it will be. At Cleveland, Week 17.
Yeah.
It'll be cold.
Cleveland, yes.
And
yes, that's true, too.
That's 5 games away.
Yeah.
You need to go 2-2 these next 4 or 3-1. Yeah,
No,
Packers, Jets, Texans, and San Fran.
We are playing playoff
Football.
right now. We are playing playoff football right now. Lose and we're out, pretty much.
If you go like 2-2 in those games, you're gonna be sat at like 7-8, and your last 2 games are gonna be Cleveland and Jets.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So
yeah, but also look at who's ahead of us, right? So first of all, thanks for beating the Chargers. Obviously, I'd rather see the Ravens in the playoffs than the Chargers. So, at least we closed in the gap there. I think we're still 2 games behind them.
You are 2 games behind.
But we're crawling and crawling our way back into the playoff picture. We are, I think, the 7th seed.
You're not the same.
8 or something like that.
You're like the 9th right now.
I think we are the team.
Or 8, probably.
No, we are right outside the
8.
wild card.
Yeah, you're 8, actually.
Yeah, so we're right outside the wild card. But yeah, anyway, so let's touch on a few other games.
Yes.
Before we do something a little different, that a little segment that we want to do. But let's talk really quick about
Steelers trap game.
Yeah, let's talk about the Steelers.
One of my favorite games I've ever seen, man. The atmosphere, the snow that appeared, the plays in the game, like Jameis Winston's like pregame
hype,
gospel. Yeah.
Yes.
Every.
Yeah, you were showing me some videos, and
yes,
I told you then, and I'll tell you
treasure.
again. He looked like a WWE wrestler.
Doing an
interview, right? So I actually enjoyed it.
Now Winston is a treasure. But nah, this was a trap game, and I knew it was gonna be from before the season. Pittsburgh against the Ravens. That's a big game, but a bigger game is who they face after that. Okay, because
Yeah.
Ravens and Steelers, it's such a hard game that it takes all of your energy. You'll get hurt. It's a physical game. And the Steelers had to play a division opponent on the road 4 days later. It was a trap game from the start. Whereas the Ravens had to rest for 8 days. Had traveled to California, so like 5 hours. But yeah, like still not as bad as going to Cleveland
Yeah,
for 4 days.
And the NFL did them no favors.
No favors.
Whatsoever. No favors whatsoever.
I mean, you're home against the Ravens. You have to travel to Cleveland in 4 days. That's
Which, okay,
brutal.
travel-wise, they're really close.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That no, maybe an hour or two, an hour on flight, if that. But it's just, on Monday night you had a big battle against the Ravens. And then on Thursday, a couple of days afterwards, you can't even rest. Even if you take Tuesday off, you're still, you only have 1 day of practice in, reality.
They don't practice much on like 4 day weeks. I think they just practice a walkthrough on like Tuesdays. But that's probably it.
Yeah.
Because you got travel, you got get your body right. Like,
Yeah, because of all the
rest.
aches and pains from Monday, and now all of a sudden you get thrown
Sunday,
right
but
in.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Monday, and then you get thrown right into a Thursday game, and not against an easy opponent either. I mean,
No.
these are division
Yes.
opponents, which
That was my biggest point. Is
Yeah.
that yes, the Browns are 2-8.
yeah,
They got destroyed by the Saints literally 4 days before that. AFC North is different football, man. It's
Yeah.
different football. Anyone can beat anyone. The Browns have 3 wins the whole year. Ravens and Steelers are 2 of them.
yeah,
And they have 8 losses that are not named Ravens and Steelers.
yeah,
How does that work?
yeah.
That's the North for you.
So that's the Steelers.
Yes.
One of the games that I was actually watching while I was watching Miami on my computer was the Redskins, Commanders against the Cowboys, and for 3.5 quarters, nothing was happening.
Boring.
Nothing was happening. I had the TV on with them because they're on Fox. I was watching Miami on CBS on the computer, and not because I can get Miami, but I was kind of hacking it. But that game was just insane. The last
like 5 minutes.
last 5 minutes was totally insane, and in fact,
I think the last 4 minutes had 44 combined points.
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, 40
It was
combined
crazy.
points.
So,
around there.
to be honest, once the Cowboys scored, and there was 20 seconds left,
33 seconds.
33 seconds, I was like, this game is over.
it's
Let me
over,
go
yeah.
upstairs. I went upstairs because I'm installing some new monitors,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden I hear this roar coming from my TV. I was like, what the hell did I just miss? I ran downstairs just to see McClellan crossing the touchdown line. I was like, what the hell did I just miss?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was with my cousin. Those last 2 minutes just went back and forth. First, a kickoff return.
Yeah.
Down by 10 with 150. You go down, get a good field goal. The onside kick did not work
No, but here,
at the end. But before that, yeah, like Terry scored. And then the missed field goal.
the missed field goal.
Which is not the kicker's fault. I don't care what anyone says. It's not the kicker's fault. It was a bad snap, and if you're a kicker out there, please, you can back me up on this. And I told this to my kicker friend that I played with in high school. When you see a bad snap, you're going to
Try to
hesitate your body even a split second because you're like, oh, it's not ready to be kicked. And that little moment just like messes up the whole like timing. So you hook the ball more. And it was not like close enough where the hook could still be
yeah.
in the field goal. It's a extra point.
Yeah, I think
33 yards.
I think he tried to readjust his body.
Yes, and it was
because
too late.
his plant foot, if you look at his plant foot, it was too close to the ball.
Yes, so he hooked
And
it.
that's how you hook it,
He
right?
literally hook it. Yeah.
So he hits it from in the inside of his foot with his ankle still kind of closed, and is going to hook it. That was
I saw it
so
too.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
So unfortunate.
I saw it too. The bad snap. I was like, bad snap, and then he missed it. I was like,
Yeah. So Washington loses 4 in a row now,
3 in a row.
or 3 in a
3
row.
in a row.
They were started 7-2,
7-2,
and now they're 7-5.
Yes.
Uh,
It's gonna be.
but-
It's gonna be really tough for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But now I do want to say something. Cooper played really well.
Yes, he did play well.
He played really well. I was very, I wouldn't say happy, but I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
It's
Finally,
not great like defense, so you gotta say that. It's not great.
okay,
defense,
he's not top 10 defense, but again, you play who you play, right?
Yeah.
And you have to play to the best abilities. He played really well. I was kind of impressed by how he played, and even what was it 2 years ago when Dak was out
Yeah,
for
so he
four
won.
for 4 games,
for 6 games.
Or 6 games.
He went 5-1.
and he went 5-1, and he.
He's not gonna take the spot.
I am not going to say that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, he played well.
All right.
He gave him the opportunity to win, and they won. So,
We're being a little too nice here.
yeah, to
I'll
the
bring it down.
Cowboys.
This morning,
Yes.
Jerry Jones did his weekly podcast. Guess what he said?
What did he say?
He doesn't rule out giving McCarthy a contract extension. There's no way. I'm sorry. There's no way.
So
if he gives McCarthy another extension, I'm gonna be sick.
no. That's what? That's an owner being an owner. If you look at a lot of these firings, the week before, the month before, the owner's always saying, "Oh no, we're going to give them an extension. We're going to be patient." Within a week or two, they're
He's
gone.
probably gone.
I'm thinking,
Hey, but this is like Jerry Jones though. This
No.
is not like your typical owner.
yeah, I'm not even going to go there. That's something that
Yeah,
Ed
fair.
and Gabe will have to answer.
Okay.
We'll have them on probably next week or in 2 weeks or something, and get their opinion on that.
Okay.
Well, I think we already know their opinion, right? I mean, it's the same as ours. He needs to go, but we're not the billionaire that owns the Cowboys, right? And he makes the decisions.
All right.
Let's move on.
Yes.
How about Houston? I did say
you have a problem.
that Houston was one of the 2 remaining games in the Miami schedule that I was a little hesitant about. But
Hey, if,
talk to me about how they played this past
Hey.
week.
if the Dolphins play the Texans this Sunday, they whoop them. I mean, Texans are not playing well at all. You could say it's because of injuries, like Tank Dell is there. Nico Collins is just like getting back. Stephon Diggs is obviously out. Could be that, but like CJ Stroud is really having a sophomore slump.
Yeah,
It's not a terrible year, but definitely not what he was doing last year, where he at times you seem like put the team on his back.
right.
It's still a well coached team, still a pretty like decent top 10 like defense, so they're not going to go anywhere. They'll make the playoffs, but they need to figure some stuff out because I don't see them even competing with Bills, Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, the Chargers even probably. So they have a small problem. I mean, you lost to the Titans at home.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, that's Houston. Up next.
The 49ers. This was, I would say this was they needed to win this past game.
Yes, it was gonna be hard.
They really needed to win.
When we recorded, we didn't know that Purdy was gonna be out,
Yeah.
so he picked San Fran. I picked the Packers by like a field goal, but then I saw that
Yeah.
Purdy was out. I was like, "Oh, you have zero chance," because Packers have a new way of playing offense now that I actually watched them play a game. Like Jordan Love, he's not playing like top tier, but he doesn't have to.
No,
They have a running game.
they do.
They have a running game. Like Josh Jacobs, our Bama boy, left the Raiders, thank goodness, signed for the Packers. He's having a year. Like Packers are a running team now. They still have great weapons, so they can be a passing team if they want. Still have Matt LaFleur as a damn coach. It's a great team.
Yeah, Love is having a little,
Oh, yeah.
but
No slump, but he's not
yeah, he's not playing at the same
as well as
level
last year.
that he was last year.
But
Last year he was playing really well.
He did almost like tear his ACL in the first week, so that could be
in the back of his mind.
a factor. Maybe he's not fully healthy yet, but not enough like to require surgery or any time off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the 49ers.
Sorry.
We'll touch base a little bit more on the 49ers during our next segment.
They might be done.
Yeah.
They have a tough schedule.
They do have a tough schedule. Yeah. And then the Chiefs. Let's talk about the Chiefs. Kind of winning by the skin of their teeth. And I think everybody is waiting and is expecting that
it's good and
team that's going to just explode. And then, here they are.
Look.
Like, here's the Kansas City Chiefs that we're so accustomed to seeing in the last few years. But they're still struggling. They're struggling with their offense. Mahomes is still struggling. He's league high in interceptions. So the defense is not playing that well, although it's
not been playing well.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks. Their biggest problems right now are coverage and protecting Pat. I mean, he got 5 sacks this past Sunday. Yep. So you got to fix that left tackle. And yes, it could be like winning, and that's obviously the main goal. But like I said before, points do matter. And here's why I'm saying this. Panthers went toe-to-toe with the back-to-back defending champions.
Yeah.
Literally 59 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yep.
What does that do?
Yeah.
You might ask. We all know that the Panthers are probably the worst team in the league. The Giants are there, probably the Raiders. But you're giving teams hope because imagine you're a Chargers player or a Pittsburgh player or even a Ravens player. The Panthers can go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. What the hell can we do that?
Yeah.
This is what is happening, okay? With being back-to-back champions, you're meant to be like so good that teams are like scared of you.
Right.
They won't like show it. They'll try their best, obviously, but prime Tom Brady was scary to a lot of people, right? So this is what you do. But if you win by field goals every single game, it gives the whole league hope that they could beat you. And when that does, it could be by a lot because they're not playing well at all.
Yeah. But also, you also have to consider that when you see the Super Bowl champions on your schedule, you look at that game, you're like, we're going to play our best game. We're going to go out there and try to punch them in the mouth. So a lot of teams actually play better against championship teams than they would against the other teams in the league.
Yes, but as a champion, you shut down that narrative. You destroy teams that you have to destroy.
Well, there you go.
Don't destroy the Bills because that's going to...
Well, it's not like you can destroy the Bills.
Yeah, but you got to destroy these small teams so you can tell the big teams that you're still there. You're going for the three-peat. Yeah. You're literally going for history. You're going for the three-peat. They play the Raiders on Black Friday. If they don't blow them out, there is so much room for concern. There's so much room. If they don't destroy the Raiders, they don't have a quarterback. The defense is not as good as we all thought it would be, and I think it's in Kansas City. So if you don't blow them out, something is wrong. Well, really, really wrong.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. Let's talk about the games that are upcoming.
Oh, there's so many like good ones.
Again, let's talk about the Ravens and the Eagles. The Eagles are playing really well.
Eagles are the hottest team right now. That's not the Lions.
Barkley is just running wild.
They're using.
So it's too bad the New York Giants couldn't get a player like him. Is the meme. But
I was about to say that we don't hate the Giants because his dad is actually a Giants fan. My grandpa's a Giants fan, so I won't ever hate the Giants. But in what world do you pick Daniel Jones over Saquon? Now. In a normal situation, you take the quarterback
over the running back.
like 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
But you did not just let a quarterback stay and a back walk. That's your culture. You let your culture walk. Look at the culture that Saquon is setting in Philly, shaking everyone's hand, like being hyped up for your teammates every play. He's creating a good culture that the Giants once had with him. You let culture walk. You let a future Hall of Famer walk. You let a future Pro Bowl every year is going to be playing, all pro probably. Look at what he's doing now. He's setting just more culture with Philly. Philly is now a closer team than last year. Last year, they were about to fire everyone.
Yeah.
Because their defense was so bad. The coaches were doing like Jack. I don't even know.
Yeah.
You bring in Saquon. He's not only a top 3 back in the league when healthy. He's a great person. He changes your culture. And they needed that in Philly. Now look at them. If it's the Lions and Philly in the championship for the conference, that's going to be one of the best games ever.
Yeah, but also look at where Saquon landed.
And that's
so the Eagles have a great team.
Yes.
Right? They have a great offensive line, something that the Giants did not. Giants could not open any rows for any lanes for him to run through, and
it was all him.
Yeah, and now you see what he can do with a good offensive line. So anyway, Ravens and Eagles.
Sorry. It's going to be a great game.
Where are they playing?
In Baltimore.
Okay.
4 p.m. So it's going to be a great time to watch it. Both teams are playing really good. These are probably the top 2 quarterback and running back combo with Jalen Hurts, like Saquon, and Lamar and Henry. The biggest question mark for this is, can the Ravens stop
the run?
Yeah, Saquon.
Yeah.
The Philly defense has been playing great the last couple of weeks, so probably hold the Ravens to 27, 30-ish around there. Can you score more than that? It's a great defense for Philly, so Ravens. It's gonna be a tough game for.
So are the Eagles?
Offense.
Are the Eagles one-dimensional with Saquon?
Hell no. They have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith was out last week. Is he back on?
He's predicted that yes, he will.
Okay.
They're not just a running team. They can pass. They have a all-pro wide receiver. They have a great quarterback. This is gonna be
good game.
One of the best games of the.
And so let's talk really quick about Lamar's record against the NFC teams.
Yes, he is 24 probably now, 25-1.
And the only loss was
to Daniel Jones, who just got cut. The Ravens face the Giants in 3 weeks in New York.
New York. So, prediction.
Hey guys, it's Will Jr. here. This may be a little weird, but it turns out that some of our footage got corrupted in the playback. So I thought it would be more simple for me to just come on here and explain the rest of our podcast as opposed to trying to make it work with the footage that we already have. So it's actually a week later. It's past Thanksgiving, past Black Friday. Did not have a lot of time to do the videos, and plus the footage corruption. So that's why it's a week later. We know what happens, but we're still gonna talk as though it didn't happen. We left off on the part where it'll be the Ravens and Philly. I said it was going to be a great game, and I thought it was. I'll explain my opinions on it in the next episode. But yeah, that was pretty much going to be that. Now, our next game that my dad was going to do on the podcast is just a simple 1 minute discussion board, if you will. He was going to tell me some teams that are near the playoff race, and he was going to ask for my prediction for the rest of their season. So, on the AFC side, we were going to talk about the Chargers, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Bengals, and the Broncos. So the first team we're going to talk about is the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are currently 8-4. They had a nice win against the Falcons yesterday, even though I did predict that the Falcons would win. But Chargers have a good chance to make the playoffs. I think they should be in. They're a great team. They don't turn the ball over much. They have a simple schedule where it won't kill their season. So I think that they're in. Colts, I don't think that they're going to be in. unfortunately. They're now like 6-7. They had a good win against the Patriots yesterday. But looking at their schedule, like plus a division should not be theirs with the wild card teams already like 2 games above. They will not be in my opinion. The Dolphins, they have a good chance. They do not have much of a tough like schedule. Yes, they did. They lost to the Packers on Thursday, so now they're back to 5-7. But Texans are not a tough team. They could like sweep the Jets if they could. 49ers are not playing like the 49ers. So yeah, like it's not like a season ender, that loss against the Packers. But the room for error now is pretty much like 0. So they need to like win out to even have a shot. The Bengals, I'm very pissed off with, okay, because I predicted that they would beat the Steelers this next like Sunday, or that just happened. I don't even know, but they lost to Russ, so their season is pretty much done. I do not see any chance now because they still have to face the Cowboys, the Titans, the Browns, the Broncos, and the Steelers again, and their only chance is to win all 5 of those and get some help, which in my opinion it will not happen. Then the Broncos, which in my opinion they will be that 7 seed. They're currently 7-5. They play tonight versus the Browns. It will not be an easy game, but they should be able to get the win. Then after that they had the Colts, they had the Chargers. They're at the Bengals, which if the Bengals like won a few games, that could have been a great game, like a playoff game even. But again, I don't think it'll happen now. Then they finish off home to the Chiefs, which if the Chiefs are not the 1 seed by then, they'll still like fight for it. So it's a tough road for the Broncos, but they're playing well enough that in my opinion they deserve the 7th seed. But now going to the NFC side, the teams that we decided to highlight were the Commanders, the Bucs / the Falcons, the winner of that division, the entire like West, so the Rams, Seahawks, San Fran, and Cardinals. Then the Vikings and Packers for who we think will get that 5 and 6 seed, or they even have a chance to push the Lions for that division title. First was the Commanders. I do think that Commanders will have that 7 seed. They have to face the Saints. They won yesterday to the Titans. They got to face like Philly one more time, which could be their only like chance to lose. They're home against the Falcons, which will be a very key game. Then they're at the Cowboys, which I swear if they're 1 game off from the playoffs and they lose to the Cowboys, I'm gonna be so sad. But yeah, so that's my opinion. Bucs, before the games yesterday or the past like Sunday, depending when you're watching this, I did think that Falcons would win the division, but now I've changed my mind. I think that the Bucs are going to win the division. Tampa are now 6-6. They got to face the Raiders, the Chargers, the Cowboys, the Panthers, and the Saints. So it's not a tough schedule. It's very like winnable. Baker is playing well. The defense is pretty like decent enough to get some wins. Mike Evans is back, so you have your 1 again. And yeah, they're just a good team to watch. I'll be honest. Then we get to the Falcons, which against the Chargers was your chance to really pull yourself away. It could have been like a game ahead, like plus the series like split with Tampa. But the truth for me is that the Falcons have the tougher like schedule compared to the Bucs. Falcons still got like travel to the Vikings, the Raiders, and the Commanders. So I think that the Falcons will not be in the playoffs this year. Now, it's the first week of December, so there's still like a month of football. So I could be wrong with all of this, which if I am, I'm only human. I'm just a fan that loves to talk and watch football. That's it. Now, the entire West division. This division has been mid all year for so many different reasons. The Seahawks are playing to their potential. I did think that 6-5 was a good like record for them, like 7-5 now because they beat the Jets yesterday. They're a good team. I did not expect them to be a top team or even a great team, but knowing how the Seahawks like culture is and how Mike McDonald is, I did not think they would be like a rebuilding team, like 5 or less wins. I did not think that. But they're playing nice. But the other 3 teams have such like storylines behind them, especially the Rams and 49ers. The Cardinals are just playing their game, you know. Their defense is again better each week. Kyler Murray is really playing well. Not great, unfortunately, but playing like well enough to make the Cardinals have a good record for right now. James Conner is running well. You need to get Marvin Harrison more involved, please. But Cardinals for me, it's a really weird season. They're 6-6 now. Next week is a big game versus Seahawks that could be for the division like soon, since the Rams, they're also there, but San Fran is not probably out after the blowout to the Bills on Sunday night. But the Rams and 49ers have had such bad luck this year with their injuries. San Fran obviously has a stacked like, roster, probably still the best like roster on paper, but CMC has not been able to stay healthy. Like Trent's not been healthy, not Purdy, not Nick Bosa, Fred Warner has played, I think, 8 straight weeks with a broken foot or something, which I thought was crazy. Fair play to him. Best linebacker in the league right now. But, yeah, like, it makes a difference. There's also Debo, who's missed some time. Ayuk, who's out for the season. Yeah, just like these things that you can't really plan for. Like, San Fran is now, they're 5-7, but they're not a 5-7 team. But, yeah, you get the bug, the injury bug. It's really hard to get out of it. So for me, I think the San Fran 49ers are out. They still have to face the Bears, the Rams. They're at the Dolphins, the Lions, and then they're at the Cardinals. They got to win probably all of those to even have a chance at the division or a wild card. And in my opinion, it will not happen. The Rams are a little bit of an interesting one. They're 6-6, but next week is a huge game. And it really depends for me where their season will go. They face the Bills. If they win, they'll be like 7-6 and like good. They'll be pushing for the division spot since Seahawks and the Cardinals face each other. But the Rams lose and they'll be like 6-7, possibly like 2 games behind the Seahawks if they beat the Cardinals. So next week it's a huge week for them. They're a great team for me. Just been unfortunate with injury to start off this season. They were, I think, 1-4 at one point, I think, or 2-5 even, but now they're back to 500, so good for them. Always been a fan of that team. And yeah, so that's the West for me. In terms of who wins it, I do think that the Seahawks win the division and get the number 4 seed, possibly the 3 seed if Tampa doesn't win that much. But that's my opinion. Now to the last one. The Packers and the Vikings. Both teams won yesterday, so Vikings are 10-2 and Packers are 9-3, and they're still not even first in their division, which is insane for me, but fair play to the Lions this year. Packers and Vikings do face off week 17, with the Vikings like going to the Lions week 18 and Packers hosting the Bears week 18. So that week 17 like could be for the 5 seed if they both stay hot. The Vikings beat the Cardinals. They still have to face the Falcons, the Bears once, and then the Seahawks. The Packers beat the Dolphins, unfortunately, on Thursday, but now they got to go to the Lions. That's a big game next week. Lions and Packers at 4 p.m. next Sunday is going to be a great game to watch. And then the Packers also face the Seahawks. So I know I'm predicting the Seahawks to win the West, but if they do, they've earned it because they have a tough schedule left. They have to face the Cardinals, the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears. Then they're at the Rams at the end. But in my opinion, I think the Packers will find a way to be that 5 seed if the Lions win that division. So yeah, guys, this has been my like separate little part of this video. Like, sorry for the footage corrupting. I did my best to like summarize the rest of the podcast to you guys. Just want to say thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you guys on the next episode, probably this week, because this past week again, corruption and no time to really like do stuff because of Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So you might have like 5 straight podcasts this week. And if you do, cool. All right, guys. See you. Thanks for watching.